why this transition, for this.
So largely in the United States, our agriculture system is what we like to call degenerative. It's a system that is dependent on chemicals. It's taking life out of the soil. It's taking life out of rural communities. And so at a high level, the goal is to bring life back into those things. The gist of regenerative and the farms that we work with, it's all about building that soil health, building fertility, getting chemicals out of those communities. And at the same time, bringing some profitability and some financial resilience back into these farms.
Here at Anaheim Convention Center at the Natural Products Expo West is bananas here. And we have so many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of exhibitors, from supplements to different types of food products to snacks. It's a trade show, and it combines culinary partners, many different food industry leaders, from manufacturing to processing to retail to vendors to grocery markets. My job is to cover the event and also just kind of ask different types of exhibitors on what's on the up and up. What are the current trends? Organic foods, what's going on with plant-based movements, what's going on with social impact, what's going on with climate initiatives, and see if we are pushing the envelope and if we're making a difference. So join me as I interview some of these exhibitors, and let's go have some fun. All right, guys, my name is Dr. Colin Zhu. I'm host of Thrive Bites podcast. We are here on day, 3, 4?
10.
You're like 100, right? Of the Natural Products Expo West. And we're here in Anaheim, and I'm joined by Justine and the lovely Taylor.
Yep.
I think you guys have something amazing going on, and I just wanted you to share. So why don't you introduce and tell us what you guys do?
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. So we're here with Green America, a DC-based nonprofit, and we're representing 2 programs today. Our Soil and Climate Alliance is an innovation network that brings together stakeholders across the entire supply chain. We're focused on learning, action, connecting around driving that system change toward regenerative agriculture. And one of our initiatives that came out of our Soil and Climate Alliance network was our Soil and Carbon Initiative. So I'll pass it over to Taylor to talk about that.
So the Soil Carbon Initiative is a verification program that's both for both companies and farmers who want to make the transition to regenerative ag. The gist of the program is we help both of them come up with plans to make that transition and then verify the implementation of that. We're currently in our go-to-market pilot phase. We've got 50 farmers from across the country all over the program. Range vastly in the type of system. We've got row crop farmers from the Midwest, people growing fruits and vegetables, tree crops, all different sizes. We're a program that's meant for any farmer in any system. And you can find more on our website at soilcarboninitiative.org.
What was the whole why of this? Like, why was this important to form this alliance? You said 10 years ago.
Yeah, so I wasn't here when it formed 10 years ago, but I think a lot of our partners were coming together and they were seeing a gap, that there wasn't enough collaboration in starting to drive this change towards a more regenerative system. And we're looking at that as, system-wide. We're not only building soil health, but we're looking to increase biodiversity and really bring those farms back to life and making better food, more healthy food for people that's, coming from really healthy soil, and also looking at farmer livelihoods. And so just bringing all of that together and bringing the people that need to talk about that in one room, that's where this was born from.
Now, we mentioned regenerative a couple of times. For those that are not aware of the issue, what is the current issue that we have and why this transition, for this?
Mm-hmm. So largely in the United States, our agriculture system is what we like to call degenerative. It's a system that is dependent on chemicals. It's taking life out of the soil. It's taking life out of rural communities. And so at a high level, the goal is to bring life back into those things. The gist of regenerative and the farms that we work with, it's all about building that soil health, building fertility, getting chemicals out of those communities, and at the same time bringing some profitability and some financial resilience back into these farms.
My understanding, you correct me if I'm wrong, is regenerative practices more for, trapping carbon, and not have it, released into the air. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, I can. So carbon is organic matter in soil, and plants are the most amazing carbon sequestration machine. I mean, there's always talk about technology of we're going to suck it out and shoot it into the atmosphere, but plants
fire is like t-shirt, right? Boom, boom, boom.
But plants have been doing that forever, and soil has been doing that forever. And when we degenerate soil, that carbon has actually left. And so not only is there the opportunity is that there's actually kind of a carbon deficient in these soils. And so by bringing the health and the fertility back into them, you're also drawing down the carbon and storing it into the ground.
Where we want to, kind of trap it in and keep that, warming process. When you say degenerative, what about it, are we degenerating? What is so bad about our conventional practices right now?
I mean, I know I mentioned it before, but chemicals are such a part of this. I mean, when we're spraying pesticides to kill the bugs on the plants, we're also killing the bugs in the soil. Soil is alive. It's not a medium to grow things. It's actually the harbinger of life that allows us to produce
everything.
The food that we eat, right? And so what ends up happening is we're spraying those chemicals, we're tilling, which is breaking up that beautiful microbiome. And so what you get in that case is that medium. And then instead of having this natural ecosystem producing all the things we need, we're putting synthetic chemicals in there. And that also costs money to farmers. And so what that does is we've degenerated that ecosystem, but we've actually also degenerated that business as well.
What do you hope to achieve with the Alliance, as you guys move forward?
Yeah, so one of our big goals is that by 2030, we are working to regenerate 90% of agricultural acres across North America. So we want to start getting that large number, seems like a big goal, but we want to get that large number of acres on the pathway to regenerative.
For a conventional farmer that may be watching on, what would be the incentive, for them to kind of transform? Because I would imagine that takes a lot of money, a lot of resources, and they're probably, meeting some deadlines. They can't make it, with this loan, with this bank, etc. So what is the incentive?
Well, what I would say first and foremost to those farmers is that we're willing to meet you where you're at. And so oftentimes with these transition programs, they say, we want you to be here tomorrow, and our approach much more is about incremental change over time. I would say the incentive first and foremost is let's save some money on your input bills. Let's help you create a more resilient ecosystem to grow your food and put health back into your land so you can give it to your kids. When I'm talking to farmers, those are actually the things that they care the most about. They know that the way they're farming is not sustainable. It's not making sense in their pocketbook. They're looking out at their land and can tell that this is not something I'm going to be able to pass on to my kids in 50 years. And so this is a way to get there, and you don't have to do it all overnight.
What are some parting words that you would, share with the audience that we haven't covered?
Yeah, I would just say if you're interested in any way in being a part of this work, find our website, soilandclimatealliance.org or soilcarboninitiative.org. Reach out to us, connect with us. We're all about collaboration and we want to learn from you. So if you have an interest in regenerative agriculture, if you work with farmers, if you're a food company, you're a scientist, just touch base with us and let's get to work together.
I love it. Thank you so much, guys. So we're going to do on 3. 1, 2, 3, soil health. Ready?
Love that.
1, 2, 3, soil health.